Istikhara, the word itself, comes from the root word of khair. Khair is like an umbrella word. It represents all that which is good. Istikhara comes from bab istif'al. And in that particular verb pattern, it develops the meaning of seeking something. So istikhara means a thalabul khair, to seek the good, to seek that which is good. And that's the meaning of the word istikhara itself. And so just like the meaning, the prayer, salatul istikhara, which is from the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, in fact, it's an authentically narrated sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, and an extremely emphasized practice of the Messenger ﷺ. And so similarly, just like the meaning of the word istikhara, the purpose of the salah is similarly to seek that which is good from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Istikhara is not a magic 8-ball. You ever buy that? They get it at the mall like a gag gift. So you say, should I go to the mall today? Maybe, right? So that's a magic 8-ball, right? Basically, what I mean by saying that, by just giving a silly example, what people play around with, when they play around with a magic 8-ball, what they're basically trying to do is, they just throw up a random question, just shake the ball and get a magical answer. And boom, you just go with it, you roll with it. It's kind of like rolling the dice. Istikhara is not that. Istikhara, the way I can explain it to you, is that it is the third of a 3-step decision-making process. The first step of a decision-making process is to use the God-given intellect, ability, critical thinking that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed each and every single human being with, in different capacities no less. But nevertheless, Allah has granted every single human being the ability to be able to take factors into consideration, weigh different options, think about it, ponder on it, reflect on it, contemplate it, and process. That He first uses this aql, this intelligence, this ability to think that Allah has granted him. And there's a reason why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala emphasizes the aql, ulul albab, and these types of things in the Quran, because this is from the greatest of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's blessings. So that's the first step of a decision-making process. Take your circumstances into consideration, look at the options available to you, and then sit down and think and try to figure out, do some research. And try to come to, at least try to narrow your options and come to somewhat of a conclusion and decision. The second step of a decision-making process is istishara. That sounds kind of like it rhymes with istikhara, is because it comes from the same verb pattern, which basically is the Arabic word for seeking counsel, seeking advice. Mashwara, it comes from that same word. The next step of the process is to then seek some counsel, seek some advice. And that really depends on what type of a decision you're trying to make. If you want to buy a car, so first you took a look at, did some research online, you maybe went a little car shopping, looked at a few cars, maybe test drove something, and you narrowed it down to about 3-4 different cars that you're thinking about. Then what you could do, for instance, is you go to the masjid and there's a brother at the masjid who's a car mechanic. Now what you do is you sit down with that brother and say, brother, I wanted some advice from you because you're experienced and knowledgeable about cars. What do you recommend? These are the 3-4 cars I'm looking at. What can you tell me? And he says, well, I wouldn't buy that. That has transmission problems. This car wears out really quickly, etc., etc. Now you're seeking counsel. You're seeking advice. If it's a more personal matter or a personal issue, something that is like a life type of decision, then you seek that counsel and that advice from somebody who sincerely and honestly cares about you. Somebody that is experienced and mature and maybe even spiritually focused, so that they have a well-rounded perspective that they can provide to you. So that's istishara, that's the seeking counsel, that's the second step of that decision-making process. The third and final step of that decision-making process is now istikhara. Now, what basically has occurred up to this point is you started off with no idea what to do. You narrowed it down to maybe a half a dozen different options. You then sought some counsel and got some advice from someone. Now you're down to your last couple of options. You're kind of struggling with this or that. And you're starting to lean a little more towards one direction. So you're thinking about 2 cars, now you're starting to lean a little bit more towards buying a Camaro, for instance, random example, over, a minivan. No-brainer, right? But nevertheless, for some strange reason you're conflicted. Maybe you have 2 kids, but it doesn't matter. They can sit in the back seat. You're starting to lean in one direction, but you're kind of conflicted. You're just a little bit conflicted. You just need a little bit of a push. You need a little convincing. You're looking for that confidence to make your decision. That you kind of have come to now through critical thinking, apply your intellect, do some research, Number two, you sought some counsel. Now you're starting to lean in a direction, but you require some confidence. You need some clarity of mind and heart. That is where Istikhara comes into play. A lot of people are confused about Istikhara because people try to use it like the magic 8-ball. I gotta buy a house, let me do Istikhara. What do you think is gonna happen? Like, are you magically just gonna see a house like in your dreams, and then all of a sudden you know that's the house, and then you go searching for it, and then you find it, and then you buy it? It doesn't work that way. You don't decide, I need to buy a car, we need an extra car in the house. And so I'm gonna do Istikhara and a Honda Civic's gonna fall on me. So it doesn't work that way. And when people try to utilize Istikhara in that way, then they walk away confused. I made Istikhara and I'm so confused. Sheikh, I made Istikhara and I can't figure anything out. It's not working. What basically is going on is that you're not utilizing it properly. Anything that's not utilized properly, of course, is not going to work right. So the thing is, you gotta utilize it in the right way. And that's the thing. So make sure that you turn it into the third of a 3-step decision-making process. That's the concept and the role of Istikhara.